Hi, I'm Tom Hoskyns, editor of Mining Journal, and I'm here with Guillermo Pensado, who's Vice President for Exploration at Blue Sky Uranium. And we're going to talk today about Blue Sky's advanced uranium and vanadium project in Argentina. Now, there's been a lot of interest recently in the uranium space. The price has been rising sharply over the course of the summer and into the autumn, with all of the funds buying up spot market volumes, which has caused a lot of excitement again among the junior uranium explorers such as Blue Sky. So Guillermo, it's obviously an exciting time in the uranium space. Talk to us about why Blue Sky is a standout candidate, and then we'll get into a bit of a discussion about Argentina as well.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Well, Blue Sky has a very good story to tell to the investors because we have a project that we were being prospecting and developing for the last 15 years because it's a new district in a new area with very high exploration potential, as Argentina in general has. And we control an entire district that could be in the future after more exploration works on field as we are doing become one of the more important districts in the world as some of the bigger ones like Kazakhstan or many others. And what we try to do, not only to be an important district from the volume or size point of view, if not also for the competitiveness. And because we have mineralization in a huge area near surface and potentially more in depth, we have the capacity to be competitive under actual market conditions. So that I think that is the good story for Blue Sky, and particularly that we are in a country like Argentina, which is a country with a very good experience in nuclear. Is one of the countries where we have been developing the nuclear sector since the 50s. So that is important also.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, there's uranium production isn't on the top of the agenda for some governments around the world. You see opposition to uranium development in some quarters, and Argentina. There hasn't been uranium production for some decades. Maybe you could tell us a little bit why there's been this hiatus in production, and what is what are the levels of support within regional and central government in Argentina?
Well, Argentina has been producing uranium since the 50s, just a few years after United States. So our track of history is have more than 70 years. The point is that in the 90s, the price of uranium was about $7 per pound. So in that moment, the federal government, because the exploration and production was at that point controlled 100% by the federal government, decided to put into standby the production and import uranium from abroad. This was what put into standby the big mine in a province as Mendoza that was producing and has resources for the country. But that mine that was set into standby 20 years ago never could recuperate it after that because many things changed. The environmental concern start to be more important. It's a mine very close to communities, so it's understandable that things changes. That mine never could start up again. So, but Argentina still had a huge geological potential due to its tectonic conditions, that it's just behind a range like the Andes. So that generated a good potential. And we are now exploring in areas far away from main communities and places where the new environmental concerns could accept the balance of exploration uranium and the benefits of generating fuel for green energy related to the place where we are working. So that's changed in the last 20 years. And again, Amarillo Grande is very well located from that point of view also, and this is important for the long-term view of the project.
So let's talk about you as an exploration player for a little bit. Do you have any particular techniques that help you achieve success?
To be successful, you need to be consistent in your work. Been working for years and years. Amarillo Grande is a district 100% controlled by Blue Sky, but also in a province where uranium was not known until we did the discovery almost 15 years ago. The learning curve take years to understand what you are doing there and how big is the potential that you have there. And this is important to maintain exploration effort for a long time. And this is something that particularly Blue Sky have been maintaining still with low uranium prices. The other thing, the important thing is the geological setting where you are. You need a lot of uranium going around to have the possibility to generate a deposit, which is something rare in the earth. So your probability to have where you have a lot of uranium are increases related to other zones. This particular zone is like a big fish net in a depression that can catch a lot of uranium from the huge geological setting, all coming from the Cordillera. And this is particularly good. The other thing which is important is, okay, how expensive it is for you to explore and define mineralization. We are focused in this, for your understanding, we control more than 300,000 hectares. This is a huge area, more than 140 kilometers in a corridor that is huge area to be exploring. But the good thing is that you have uranium on surface or real or near surface. So that means that you can rapidly advance your exploration at very low cost. And this was what allowed us with low uranium conditions, uranium price conditions, we could still advance exploration programs and finally define the first deposit in the district in 2017, just few months after starting an intensive exploration program. This is something that not always happen. To define a deposit, something that may take many years, and we did in less than one. And this talks about the potentiality of the district. I mean, when you have a lot of mineral going around, you have more chances to define something. And we could define this very rapidly. We advanced in this project very rapidly. And now, after the 15 years of exploration, we are walking backwards in the previous prospecting zones to review with all the knowledge gained with this discovery and trying to define new deposit. That's, you are creating your own learning curve for more success, but you need to be in a very good geological setting and being persistent in your programs along the time. So I think that this is a good way to have good success, and for sure, a good exploration team.
Yeah, of course. And so, yeah, as you said, you've made good progress with the uranium price at a low level, and clearly it's started to move significantly over the past few months. Is there a price level in mind that you need to begin production? And do you have a view on what's going on in the market at the moment? Do you think we're going to see a more significant price move again, perhaps when the nuclear utilities re-enter the market to start contracting long-term volumes?
Well, certainly higher is better. That's for sure. The point is that when I came to participate in this exploration team 5 years ago, and considering the potential of the district, uh, our goal was, okay, let's try to see if we can do this project competitive under these low price conditions. And this was our first goal. If go better, great for everyone, but let's try to be competitive with the Kazakhstan guys, who are the main producers in the world, with similar geological conditions, many similar parameters from the geological point of view. The point is that they produce in situ recovery, which is very low cost operating processing. We tried to show that we could be as competitive as them doing regular mining near surface at very low cost. And this is why we did the first discovery, and we tried to prove our thesis with data, with results. So we rapidly moved into a resource estimation. We rapidly went into metallurgical testing works, and we went to a preliminary economic assessment. And if you see those results, you can see that our cash cost, operating cost, is about $16 per pound. And the overall all included is almost $19 per pound. So we did everything just thinking in the $20 per pound that was in that case. And this was with the first deposit. Now we want to improve our parameters, economic parameters, increasing the volume, because if you take into consideration that the processing plant, which is the main capital investment that you need to do at the opening, we are talking about an operation on surface, almost a sand quarry. So you don't need drilling, blasting, and many things that do your operation very, very low cost. So the plant is probably the more expensive. That cost not going to be significantly increased if you define other deposit near Ivana, and you may increase your volume. So that reduce your overall cost on time. And this is our goal today. We are trying to define a cluster of deposits in the 30 kilometers radius from Ivana deposit itself, in order to see if we can improve our initial thesis to this central facility view and trying to improve the economics. So we understand that with based on those numbers, our break-even value or price is around middle 30s. But we want to do this project as competitive and profitable as we can, because we understand that the district has the potential to do it.
Okay, fantastic, Guillermo, and thank you very much indeed for that. I think that's all we have time for today, but great to get an overview of the project. It sounds, it all sounds very exciting and clearly very cost competitive compared to the other juniors out there. So, Guillermo, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you. It was nice to talk about this beautiful project, really.
Well, thank you again for joining us, and we will see you again soon, I'm sure. But for now, that concludes this video for Mining Journal. Goodbye.